Hey guys, welcome. And today is World Box Day. In this video, you'll see the simulation of the Napoleonic Wars, right? The war between Napoleon's France, the guy who almost conquered all of Europe being just 1.60 meters tall. You're my 1.60 meter tall princess. And this war was against many empires. But anyway, let's go to Wikipedia so I can explain better how I'm going to do this. Well, this war happened mainly because of Napoleon's imperialist policy. Since he was very expansionist and imperialist, he wanted to have a lot of power. And as expected, many European nations didn't like that at all. And that's when the war really started, with the United Kingdom declaring war against France. It wasn't Napoleon who declared war. And you can see here, guys, that this war lasted 12 years. It went from 1803 to 1815. A war that lasts all that time is going to go through many phases. So, like, I had to choose a specific phase of the war to represent in World Box. And I chose the coolest one, which is the 1812 phase. And in red on this map is the territory of France and its allies at the time. The Austrian Empire and Prussia, where they fight against several nations, all the nations around them. Like, for example, the United Kingdom, Sweden, the Russian Empire, and others. So, in World Box, I'm going to make all these nations. I just hope my PC can handle it, honestly. Let's get started. I'm here with the map of Europe, and first I'll define France's territory, including the areas it dominated as part of it. Spain there, which it had already conquered, for example, will be together with France. Yeah, and the territories of the other nations, the allied nations and the enemy nations. I'm also here with the Renaissance mod. I forgot to mention that. So they're going to have weapons. They're going to have cannons, anyway. So now I'm going to define it here. I'm going to use high mountains, because that's the way I always use, and it works. And I only use this mountain, guys, to define the border properly, okay? I'm going to divide this part here, because I think there's a risk the French might try to move up. And I'm going to close it off here too. The thing is, guys, this one is way too big, see? I'm going to have to make this mountain smaller. Here, look, this circle here looks good. It seems like it's going to be smaller. Yeah, it looks good like this. Look at the difference. And now the border limits here of France's territory. It's more or less like this. It's definitely wrong, but that's about as close as I can get. Prussia's territory is more or less here, and it comes down a little bit here and closes off. It's not much, it's small. Guys, I felt a bit sorry for Portugal. Instead of putting Spain in this part here too, I'm going to leave this part for Portugal, because they're really tiny. They won't be able to develop much at all. So I gave them a little bit more land here. Whoa, a rock just appeared here. I'll add the rest of the missing borders and be right back. I think it's perfect now. Next, I'll start placing the humans in their territories. Let me check if I closed everything properly. If nothing's missing. If nothing's left open. What if I messed something up? But I don't think so. Everything's fine. I'm going to place the humans. I'll use the power box to make the alliances, which is right here. Look, create an alliance. So let's go, guys. Let's put some here here as well. Give stone and iron to everyone, so it's fair. And I'm going to change these names. Don't worry, the Austrian Empire won't be called the Piauí dictatorship. That's fine, I'll fix it. Hold on, there are places that didn't form a kingdom. Man, I think this place here is way too small, guys. No, I didn't put a tree. I forgot, man, about Portugal. Here, have some trees. Take some trees for yourselves. Hold on, let me quickly turn off the rebellion and diplomacy world laws. And also the kingdom expansion law. Now I'm going to change all the names. I'm going to put the correct names for all the kingdoms. Alright, I finished putting all the correct names, and now I'm going to set up the two alliances. France and Prussia. Austrian Empire and Prussia. Now that these three are done, let's check the alliance list. I believe the three are together. Exactly, look. Pact of Imperial Harmony. And now another alliance. But first, let me get Portugal and the United Kingdom. Then from the UK, I'll go to Sweden, and from there to the Russian Empire. From the Russian Empire to the Ottoman Empire, these three will form an L, guys. Seriously, here's what I'll do. To give them a little advantage, to give them a chance to win, I'll give them adamantine ore, okay? Because you see, 3 empires against 5, my friend, it's impossible for them to win if they don't have good equipment. So I'm going to set aside some adamantine for the 3 of them, to see if they have any chance, you know? Check if the other alliance is set up. Great, it is. The Universal Union Alliance, everyone. Portugal, United Kingdom, Sweden, Russian Empire, Ottoman Empire. Everyone's here. Now I'm going to let them all develop. I'm going to wait for them to develop well, and then I'll start the war. But I'm also going to activate something that the subscriber mentioned, which is to show, right, the size of each empire's army here. Look, they're developing here. And the first empire to create an army was Sweden, okay? They already have about 20 soldiers. And the rest here, they're developing. Now they've also created armies. Yeah, now all the empires already have their armies, guys. But I'll have to wait for them to get weapons, since Napoleonic wars need muskets and all that. I'm sure they still won't have muskets. Let me check Sweden's army, since it's the most developed among all the armies. Even they basically only have bows and swords, so they have to wait. They're still progressing through the eras, and over time they'll get there. And here in the Russian Empire, look, you can see they have a bunch of cannons. Yeah, there's a huge city, Sarika here. This is practically a city, look. There's a cluster of houses, and they have a bunch of cannons. There are 2, 3, 4, and now I'm going to wait a bit for everyone to have firearms. All right, some time has passed. Let's see if they managed to get any weapons. Oh, look here, guys. Whoa, the guy has a legendary weapon here, a golden one. They really did it. There are more here. Yeah, there are more here. Let me check. There are more. Yeah, I think everyone got it now. There are more here too. Really, guys, I believe all the armies have their weapons now. Let me see. Look, there's a loaded weapon here and another one here. Well, that's it. Some already have it. All the armies already have their equipment. So, I'm going to activate diplomacy. I'll open the borders. And let's see what happens, guys. Well, I opened here, 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 and here. All right, I think I opened everything. Now we're in trouble, my friend. Look at the Russian Empire's army. 200 guys, man. Now I just have to spread the rumors of war and everything's messed up here, right? When I spread the rumors of war, Discord is going to go wild. I powered everyone up. Everyone's huge, man. Rumors of war. I'm going to put it here. The Ottoman Empire against the Austrian Empire. Done. It started. Look, these 3 here together against the people around them. Wow! The fight there is going to be intense. It started. Prussian Empire. Prussia against Sweden. Oh my goodness. I'm being hit by arrows. Where are the shooters? Wow, everyone's huge since I used a power-up here. Look at the guys. Check out that huge blunderbuss. Look at the size of it. These giants here have such a big trabuco that it looks like a cannon. It looks like they're carrying a cannon on their backs. Look, look. They're crushing it, guys. They're crushing it. Wow, what a mess this is. What is this here? This is the Austrian Empire. Here are the Russians, look. Here are the Russians versus the Austrian Empire. Look at the blunderbuss. Look at the blunderbuss. Shoot, trabuco. Shoot with the trabuco, man. You can't see the shots, but you can hear. Look. Do you see the small yellow things, guys? Wow, that's a rain of arrows, man. The cool thing is, you can see everything with the giant creatures. France took over Portugal. France already took over Portugal. Portugal is extinct. How is there still a battle? There's a battle here, here, and here. Look. Ottoman Empire versus Austrian Empire. The Ottoman Empire's army is done for. Hold on, let me pause. My God, they're getting crushed. They're getting crushed by France and its allies. I think I overdid the power-ups, guys. But Prussia and the Austro-Austrian Empire have few soldiers left. But the Russian Empire also has few left. So here it's a bit tougher. But if France arrives, France still has over 100 soldiers. If France gets here, they're screwed. Look, the people here from Russia. They're under heavy fire and taking many arrows, guys. That's why the people from Prussia, the soldiers are all dying. Look, one died here. They're taking arrows. Look, there's a guy with a weapon here. Another weapon here. One more weapon. One more weapon. Another weapon here. My Russian Empire has a lot of weapons. So many that they're really giving us a hard time. There are still 30 soldiers from the Russian Empire. Let's see what happens. Look at the guys with their blunderbusses. Look at the cannon. Look at the cannon. The cannon is firing. Things are crazy here, man. This cannon shoots rapidly. It sounds like a machine gun. My God. Wow, but this one is the king. Look. This one's hard to beat. This one's hard to beat, even if he's just taking shots. My God, man. Look, did you guys see the bomb? Is there a cannon here? No, it's this blunderbuss right here, look. Man, this blunderbuss fires explosive shots. The United Kingdom is finished, look. France took over the United Kingdom. France is taking everything. Look, they have 140 soldiers. They're still training people. Whoa, the Empire, the French soldiers, they're not getting involved in the war. But if they do, we're screwed. Look at this. Look how crazy that is. Still full of people with guns. Actually, there are actually only a few here. Look, Prussia is losing. Fish. Whoa! The Russian Empire has 5 soldiers. The Russian Empire is almost being defeated. But so is Prussia, huh? Prussia almost bit the dust. Let's see what happens here now. The Austrian Empire. They won the war against the Ottoman Empire. So they're coming now, look, to Russia. It seems like it. No, they haven't gone yet. They haven't advanced towards Russia. Where are the Russian soldiers? Here, guys, look, they're here. Let me unpause. Check out that big gun. You're crazy, man. Look at that thing coming. Wow, right in the face. They're really getting hit hard, right in the head. Guys, something's going on. The French Empire just started moving. Look, Prussia and the Austro-Austrian Empire didn't react. They took over eventually, but it took a long time. I cut here because it was dragging. The Austrian Empire didn't do anything. You can see that the ones invading with everything here are the French. The French came in, and the Russian Empire's part all went to the Austrian Empire. And here in the Ottoman Empire, I think it's going to be the same thing. Let's see. There you go. The France in World Box acted just like the real France, guys. The Austrian Empire and Prussia, they didn't want to take over the enemy kingdoms. The French army arrived, took over, and handed it to the Austrian Empire, and that's it. But that's it, guys. That was today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want more World Box, I'll put a video on the screen. Thanks, guys.